Hello everybody out there in Science Land. This is your Unit 2 benchmark review. We have to do this together so that you can understand all the concepts for Unit 2, the engineering unit, especially because your test will be assigned tomorrow. So that way you can have this with you, you can have the chapter with you, it'll help you go through it. Alrighty, vocabulary review. When Miss Sims' third graders designed a tunnel, they follow steps in a design process. A dishwasher is an example of something that makes a family's life easier and is a kind of technology. Okie dokie. The Johnson family decided to purchase a new vehicle. An important feature they searched for was four-wheel drive because four-wheel drive works well in snow. Why is the invention of four-wheel drive a kind of technology? It is because it meets the needs of the drivers. A piece of technology is usually invented to help something, to meet a need, okay? Number 4, Stuart will be working with a team to design an improved outdoor light. What should they do before beginning the improvements? They should test the old design. All right, number 5, what is the main goal of the design process? Well, the design process is there to find solutions to problems. Grace, Miguel, and Amelia, like our student Amelia, are studying how improving technologies can affect the environment. They have to design an invention that affects the environment in a positive way. Which invention do you think they picked? They probably picked the electric train that does not run on fuel. That way they don't have to burn up fossil fuels that are harmful to the environment. Okay, let's go to the next page. We're going to start on number 7, right here on the top of your page. Grocery stores can be very busy places. After people fill up their carts with what they need, they may have to stand in line for a while. The inventor of the self-checkout lanes improved technology to help consumers. What new needs could self-checkout lanes cause? Well, you do have to bag your own groceries afterwards, so maybe an automatic bagging technology. Kelsey is researching new computers. She wants to find the computer with the newest technology. Which computer is she most likely to use? So the one with the fastest processing speed is going to get her there. What problem did adding air conditioning to cars solve? People got too hot inside cars during the summer. Especially, imagine here in Florida, we didn't have AC in our cars during the summer. This is a technology that helped John's grandmother. Okay, how did this technology most likely help John's grandmother? Well, this is an x-ray. It showed the broken bones. That way the doctor knows what to fix. 11, scientists notice a problem with an engine. It is getting too hot after it runs for a long time. What should the scientist do next? So he should plan and build a new engine, okay? Because he has to plan first before he can come up with it. Alrighty, next page. We're going to start on number 12, top left question. An engineer designs a new engine, but one of the parts keeps melting. The engine can get hotter than 240 degrees Celsius. So let's look at the table. These are different materials, and this is their melting point. A melting point basically means at what temperature does that material have to reach before it starts to melt, when it starts to melt. So which material would you suggest the engineer use in the next design? So if it doesn't want the part to melt, and the engine is going to get that hot, it needs a material that can withstand that type of temperature. The only one that has a higher melting point would be aluminum. So aluminum is what he needs because it can go all the way to 660 degrees Celsius. When you think about it, that's why you can put aluminum foil in the oven when you're baking something, because it can withstand that heat without melting. Not all metals are the same, okay? If you put a tin, as you can see, tin, like a tin can, if you put that in the oven, it's going to melt. 13. Suppose you are digging a stone out of the ground with a shovel. You have a problem after you dig all the dirt around the stone. The stone is too heavy to lift. What is your best option in solving this problem? Use a machine to help you. Use a tractor to pull it out of the ground. Okay, if you can't lift it, a bigger shovel is not going to help that. Start over and pick a smaller rock. That's not your problem. Your problem is the rock that's already there. And trying to lift it yourself continuously is not going to change the result. Using a machine to help you, that's what's going to help the result. 14. Suppose you're in a tree house you built. You notice that one of the boards is broken and could cause an accident. How could you improve your design? You can replace that board with stronger wood. There's different types of wood, and all those woods have it. Like balsa wood is very soft. It can be scraped very easily, cut very easily, but it's something like oak, it is very hard. So maybe you replace it with a better piece of wood, a stronger piece of wood. Okay, the chart below shows the number of miles per gallon of gas used by some cars. The cars that use the least gas travel more miles per gallon. How many cars use the least amount of gas? Okay, so this is the gas mileage per gasoline. This is called a frequency chart or a tally chart. Right here, miles per gallon, 9 to 12. There's one car model that can do that. And then something that I do when I see a frequency table that way, or a tally table, is that I total the numbers out to help me look at it. Instead of looking at the little lines, I total them out. So each tally mark represents one car model. So your question is, how many cars use the least amount of gas? So that would be 2 vehicles, because they can go that many miles per the gallon. So they can go further with less gas. That would be 2 cars, because it's right here. See? 2. So now we're going to use this picture in order to solve these questions and answer these questions. I might not write them all out, but I might discuss them, so make sure you're listening. It says, write 3 kinds of technology shown in the scene. Make a claim about how each of them improves society. Well, the first one right off the bat, that's a car. I see a car as a piece of technology. It makes it easier for people to get around. I also see a computer. The computer at the veterinarian's office in this picture, it helps keep appointments organized, all the information for your pets in one place. Computers are incredibly useful. And then the train delivers goods to different locations. Locations are not always delivered by truck or airplane. Sometimes trains are still going. Sometimes here in my house in Westchester, I can hear trains going through the train tracks at 441. Maybe if you live nearby here, you have also heard them. There's definitely more pieces of technology around. I see a camera. I see somebody using a walkie-talkie. I see a radio. I see a bike. Sometimes we think of technologies as things that are electronic, but the thing is, technology is anything that helps advancement, so that it solves a need. For example, something like a pencil, not a mechanical pencil, like a regular pencil with wood and graphite. Those pencils, that was a piece of technology that was invented. It doesn't need a battery or anything like that, but we don't need a quill and ink anymore. We have a pencil that you can sharpen and keep going without having to dip it in ink. So therefore, a pencil, something as simple as that is a piece of technology. A rubber band, before, if you had to keep a bunch of stuff together, you either had to tie string around it or make a knot. Then they made an elastic rubber band to make the job easier. So that's a piece of technology as well. You moved to a new home with a doghouse in the backyard. Your small dog cannot get into the doghouse easily because it is raised up off the ground. What is the problem, and what can you do to solve the problem? So the problem is that the dog cannot reach the doghouse. That's what the problem said. It is too high. So a possible solution is to design and build a ramp to the doghouse for the dog to climb. Sometimes you can build a ramp. You can do a little staircase. A ramp would be easier because they wouldn't have to jump. They would just walk up. So there you go. You solved the problem. So now I want you to keep these pages with you for when you do the test, so they can help you figure out the answers. Remember that you can look through the entire unit 2 during your test. You can have your book with you and take your time. Always have an adult check your answers before you submit them, especially because this will be your last science test of the year. So you want to make sure that you end the year with a high note. So I will talk to you later. Bye.